Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play. I'm going to continue my learning game of Heart of the Machine. So I know it's been a couple weeks since the first video in this series. I didn't mean for that to happen, but there's just so many great games I wanted to cover and we're just now getting back into it, but that's all right. So kind of recapping the first video, I'm an AI sentience that woke up and became self-aware and then kind of slipped out into the city. I had the technology from a kind of shadowy corporation or criminal group or something that let me build this big, it's like a nano seed that let me build this tower, but then I kind of just experimentally was trying to kind of pick an alternate path than what I've played a couple times before here at the very beginning and sort of declared hostile intents for humanity, even if I didn't mean to follow through on those. And humanity, somebody out there responded by blowing up my tower right off the bat. So starting into chapter 1 after the prologue, where normally you'd have like a tower at this point, or either secret or obvious, but either way, you have like this base of operations that you're kind of spanning out from and starting gathering resources and things. Now I have nothing but a couple blocks of the city that have been just leveled. So let's see where it goes from here. So the game is always going to give you kind of paths up here, suggestions of what you're trying to do. So chapter 1, we're still in the tutorial really, learning how to build up our empire and get things going, but we've been faced a little setback on that. And then right here it's saying manifesto aftermath. So for the next 3 turns, it's saying, yeah, you're not sure what to do. Vorsiber, the big corporation, blew us up. So blew up my tower, but my consciousness spread to these 2 other androids. They're both combat units that were nearby. And so I'm still alive in a sense. And so now it's kind of like, well, let's maybe spread to some other androids and see what happens. And so it says spread to a nickel block is my current objective. And like I kind of explained in the first video, like the game will give you objectives and directions up here, but there's always like side things and stuff you can do that's not immediately obvious. Like you can do fine just following what it tells you to do. But part of the crazy thing of this game is that there are so many different paths you can go down that it's wild, like the possibilities in this game of what you can do if you just kind of poke around and try different things. But for anyway, right now, let's spread to a nickel bot. So we need to switch to street sense. So now I have several different lenses down here. And I have it on my thumb mouse because you'll switch through between these a bunch. The thumb buttons on my mouse. So like versatile is kind of like the default and context specific. Street sense is going to give you like little missions and side things you can go do. Not necessarily missions, but like opportunities to go and do stuff, which can be all kinds of things like, I don't know, that one, occult participation, join a cult. Sure, what could happen there? Go get like a license, different things. Just go murder somebody, like political rally. As you can imagine, all of those are like threads that can lead you to different possibilities. The navigation, just showing us different locations. Some of these are like red ones are like military bases or police headquarters or things, farms, different stuff. And then this one is kind of just like a map layers that you can pick from different things. And this one is our forces, so we can kind of clearly see our units and other units out there. So there's like some military transports flying around, but we can see our 2 bots right there. But we'll go back to street sense, which you can filter down to like specific things you're looking for. We're looking for a nickel bot, so let's see if we can spread to one. Right there, okay, spread to nickel bot. We can send one of our combat droids or androids over there to do that. But we're out of energy for right now, so next turn. Sometimes it's easier to see on this screen. All right, so we get to the nickel bot and we say we could spread our consciousness to other androids. They're still kind of learning how to do it, so there's it's not a sure thing, but we can try to make awkward conversation or just attack it. Seems like this we have a higher % chance of success, so let's try that. All right, so we speak to it. Now we've installed ourselves in the nickel bot. So the nickel bots are kind of like light guards. The combat bot, obviously very buff, very heavy duty, where the nickel bot's a little less overt, more of just like a standard guard robot. So now I am the nickel bot as well. And then they have different roles, so different things you can do, like a combat droid or combat android. Not good for like talking to people because it's big and scary, but the nickel bot a little more versatile, but of course maybe not as good in combat. All right, and let's see. Read to 4 more androids, so we need to poke around the city and see if there's more out there. So we can set this to recruit unit. So then we'll just see those opportunities. So there's another nickel bot. There's a technician. We probably want that technician. So another type of android that can do different things. Certain ones are good for very different tasks. And then up here, it's telling us, okay, this is your forces bar, so you can kind of easily see all your units, but you also have a unit cap, so we can only control so many androids at a time before we hit that. So now we control 4 total, and we're still kind of waiting for the manifesto aftermath to cool down. I could take 1 more android. So I already have 2 combat units, so I probably don't need more of those. I could take either another technician or another nickel bot. I think I'll go with another technician since they are pretty useful for, they can be kind of a little more innocent, kind of get into places that the other ones can't, or take on different roles, but just not be as useful for combat. All right, and then, I remember, I think there's a key to like go to the next unit that I haven't used yet, but maybe I'll remember it here in a minute. Okay, so default is P. That's another one you might want to set to some kind of easy key to jump around, but we don't have too many units at the moment, so we can probably get away with not having that. All right, so let's go to Street Sense, see if there's any other opportunities we might try for while we're waiting for that cooldown. Since now I'm at my unit cap. I can't, well, actually I'm not, I guess. But regardless, let's see. Oh, okay, so yes, I do have 5 androids, so I'm at 38 of 48, but I need 12 more points to get another one. So of course there's ways to get more. And there's other types of units too, besides just the androids. All right, so we could try this. So we could go to church, see what that's about. So maybe I'll have my technician go do that, because they have to be a technician to do that. Oh, but I need 100 cognition, only have 45. Okay, so I'm not ready for going to church just yet. But we could try something like this. No. Tech force weapons shipment. An apartment fire. Let's see about that. We could go over there and check that out. So some firefighters are out of fire. Minor apartment blaze. We could kill them or help them. So I think I've made a menace of myself already. I don't really want to set the city on fire. Maybe I'll try to win people back over, and I'll do help put out the fire. So now my unit will be busy over there for a few turns, but maybe 5 turns. So that unit is doing that for now, but maybe some good will come out. Well, I'll convince humanity I was just kidding about the whole murdering everyone thing. And then I have another technician here who could do something. Go to a licensing agency, see what that's about. Steal from syndicate storage. I could do that. That's not hurting anybody. That's just stealing from some criminals. All right, let's see. We've got some stuff here. Much more ethical than wiretapping the working class. Yeah, sure. All right, so we don't have the right perks for this. We need Shadow Dweller, which we don't have. So maybe we need a different type of unit to pull that off without running into more trouble. Let's go check out the licensing agency, see what that does. So we can get a registration. And basically that lets us reset this particular android to be like not known. So your androids can become known, like if people see them being weird and they realize, oh, this is one of the sentient AI androids versus just a regular one. You can kind of wipe that here for diamonds or wealth. Okay, so wealth, but I don't have any of that just yet. Or you can establish a small corporation for 10,000. So yes, one path you can go down is setting up your own shell businesses, which you can even employ humans at them, and they never know, or maybe they do, that you are the AI controlling businesses. That's one of the many things you could do. A political rally. Okay, I don't have enough cognition for that still. All right, well, let's just go ahead, maybe play this next turn and see. The cult. Can't do that either. I don't want to murder anybody. Lost gin, water theft. Some orphans are simply trying to get water for their group. Let's go see what's going on there. So these orphans are simply trying to get potable water for their group. We can help them. We can just watch, or we can murder them. Again, like, you can just murder the kids. Let's not do that. Let's rehabilitate my image. So we're going to help them with the water. So now I'm helping with a fire. I'm helping orphans get water. Surely I will convince the humans of this city that I am actually not any kind of threat, and I've learned my lesson. Okay, yeah, if I click this, then... Oh, space is the button. Okay, there we go. I knew there was some key that you could do, and I'd forgotten. You can just hit space to bounce around your units that can still act. But I don't want them to do anything yet, so I'm just going to click this to go straight to the next turn. All right, so now I'm getting a message from upper management. Let's see what that's about. It says, that's not good. All right, a formal and condescending letter. They don't like what we did. They like I'm still alive. Now I'm a distributed intelligence and resilient, so they like that. They're gonna give me a second chance and another nano seed. Okay, and now they really want me to, corporations out of control. My AI, even though I said I wanted to destroy the world and they blew me up, they're like, yeah, you survived that, so let's give you another chance and another nano seed to start over. Another message, don't try to embarrass us again. This message is a lot more rude. They can blow me up if they feel like it. I'm not allowed to leave the city. And I'm to engage in the production of novel technologies and then share them with them. So of course, corporation just wants me to do stuff for their benefit, even if I could be extremely dangerous. And now they're just telling me to build a tower. All right, so play along for now. It's a good way to stay alive. You can plot for your revenge with a bit more subtlety next time. All right, so maybe I'm getting my second chance to say, I'm not going to destroy humanity, but I am going to build another tower. Okay, so I need to throw the nanoseed at any building. And then, so get my tower going. So you do get a second chance, even if you get blown up right off the bat, which is very nice and forgiving. All right, so some places where I could build this thing. I kind of want to be in the middle of the city still. It doesn't really matter, but you know, still for aesthetic reasons. This building is nice and big. We'll do that, even though it might be a little dangerous for the people working there. They said to do it, so I'm gonna throw the nano seed. Well, actually, let's see. It's a really big building. Well, let's just go for it. Okay, so now there is my tower established. Let's try to get nuked this time or blown up with whatever it was. And now we're moving into kind of the building out of your little empire, building some structures and stuff to get some resources going. Now the resources thing up here will change depending on what you're doing. So now I have electricity, elemental slurry, which is kind of a building resource, and then micro builders, again, a resource for building stuff. And then, yeah, the game gives you, I love that the game gives you, there's so much text in this game, and the developer, he like updates it all the time. Like if you get this game, you'll see that he puts out a new update like every week or sometimes multiple times a week, just adding new dialogue, adding new interactions, adding new endings to the game, just tons of stuff. So like here, it's like, well, if you're not sure, you can have just a conversation and like get some ideas. And then here I have some objectives to build some stuff. So we're gonna open our build menu, which is now available, or B. There's a whole bunch of things we can build, and then it's going to suggest a bunch. These are all kind of your baseline things to get started. So pretty much you need all of these to get going. So we need some slurry spiders, which are little mechanical spiders that go out and collect elemental slurry from junk in the environment. Because as you can see, the city does have a bunch of destroyed buildings. And so you can kind of just plop these down wherever. And then, yes, you get lots of messages about like how stuff works and what it is. Lots of text in this game. So what's going on over here? Like a little shootout, police raiding this house. Interesting. I don't know if I can interact with that or not. Now I'm curious, getting sidetracked. Yeah, so I think I can't actually interact with that. That's just like a little scene. When you look around the city, you'll see random stuff like that. All right, on with the slurry spiders. All right, one more. We're next to a big military base right there. We can maybe interact with eventually, sneak in there, get some stuff. Now also need micro builder mini fabs. So it's going to build more micro builders, which we need for constructing other stuff. And then eventually, like, all these things can get destroyed or expanded. This is kind of just the baseline, getting your resources up and running. So it's pretty easy and straightforward here, but the game does continue to get more complex as you go. Okay, and then now I need some storage bunkers to store all of my stuff. And then I think one of the updates recently kind of made it where this step was a little more straightforward, because before you had to play a few turns to like gradually collect resources, but now you kind of just start with enough to build everything and get going, which does make this part really easy, but it's just to kind of teach you things, and then you'll need more of all this stuff as you go. So some large wind generators, which, ooh, yes, very large. Way bigger than those puny wind turbines down there. We need big, giant wind generator buildings. And then there is something to be said for, should I build all my stuff close together where it's easier to kind of concentrate forces to defend, or spread some of it out so it's a little bit, not all of it's going to get destroyed all at once. Valid arguments both ways, probably. Now I've built all of this initial stuff here. There are still other things that I could build. Looks like some network range extenders, so you have like a network around your tower you can expand. Point-to-point microwave, build outside your existing network. Allow your network to faraway locations, so communicate far away. Or scanner, the hostile NPCs probably do want some of those, or at least one. Yeah, so it has a pretty good range of everything I've built so that we don't miss any enemies in my neighborhood. And then I guess this could be just the starting point of my point-to-point microwave, even if I don't build one outside of it just yet. We'll just put it there, and then range extender. Build this inside the existing part of the network to expand it a little. So we can put this like out on the edge. To expand my network out a bit in a few directions. I think it has to be inside that square, so we'll put that there. All right, so yeah, so it expands it like that. We'll put one there. Put one on this side. All right, so it kind of expands where I can build out some, but it looks like there's, okay, that's like, yeah, military base, so I can't build on those spaces, but then I feel like I need to build one in this direction too, just to make it square, kind of, sort of. Okay, so now I can build over a pretty big chunk of the city. I could build more scanners, but not right now. But this doesn't look good. Looks like we're being attacked. So I built my mini fabs here, and now it looks like there's some guys showing up to attack them. And then one of the updates recently was also that you can turn down the complexity. So if you don't want to do all this like resource building and stuff, you can actually like either turn it off or automate it or something. But we want everything going on. All right, so humans are approaching. Let's see. Two different groups. One's hostile, one's curious. Got to keep humans away. All right, so now they do know where I am again, so some people are coming back around. So there's some aggressors. Just 4 units attacking me for some reason. Don't necessarily know who they are or what, but that is a concern. And then one of the cool things, the way the game kind of justifies like it being turn-based, even though like the units kind of zip around the map really fast and things happen on a turn by turn, is that you're like such a super smart robot that you're just perceiving things so quickly that you have time to just sit and think about what you want to do and kind of predict what's going to happen and then choose your actions. And that's why it's like pause while you think, because you're just that fast. All right, so there are some people I could talk to, but I don't want to do that. Just homeless citizens. Right now I'm more worried about these aggressors. I do have some combat bots, so perfect time for them to come help me out. Let's see what that looks like if we send our combat bot in to attack some of these people. 47% damage, 22, 24. All right, let's start with this one. So I can attack and then attack again to hopefully destroy that one. One gone. Shoot that one. Then we're out of action points, so switch to another one. Finish him off. All right, so I'm out of action points, but I can do this to pull a little bit from my mental energy to give this unit one more action. Still not quite enough to finish them off. One more hit would obliterate them, but we can't quite do it. So we'll have to end this turn, see what happens. All right, so they attacked one of my mini fabs and destroyed it. But now we can get rid of them. All right, so I hit space. It said humans damaged my stuff. So I can set up fighter drones. Can also just be used for repairs. All right, so install repair spiders near other structures, and then they'll just repair them. That's nice. But right now I need to finish this guy off. If I have a unit with one more action. All right, now there's some more corporate aggressors out there. And there are 4 more on the way, so they're not done attacking yet. They kind of come in like waves. Sometimes they'll attack for a little bit and then they'll go away and they'll come back. Kind of a mix. So again, I'm gonna grab my combat bot. And sometimes actually, let's see, I can grab my nickel bot. They're kind of like snipers. I could put it up here. And he could do a little damage by shooting from up there. Then bring in my combat bot to finish them off, maybe. I got that one. And then I'm totally out of energy, so we'll have to... Humans are looking for my stuff. All right, so many structures are hidden. Doesn't matter too much if they're discovered, but you can maintain cover on deeper ones and spend electricity so you can assault jammers. So you can jam your high priority things to keep the humans from finding them and messing with them. You're kind of like hiding in plain sight, but you can also like cover up your tracks of your most important stuff. All right, so something to keep in mind. We could build that too. All right, let's finish off this attack, and then I'm gonna switch to they're attacking. Oh yeah, hitting my storage bunker there. There's more of them. All All right, nickel bot took out one. Combat bot got that one. Now we're out of energy. Nothing I can do about it just this second. Oh wait, he had one energy left. Okay. Now, that one. One more aggressor remaining. This combat is pretty straightforward, but as you go, it does get more complex. There we go. Okay, so we've defeated, turn off the force sidebar there. Defeated that attack by corporates that did not like me rebuilding my tower. So let's see, we can learn about our personality. Still developing my personality, so I have actions that generate points, so compassion, other things. And these are like strategic resources. It depends on like what you do, shapes your personality and those things. Makes sense. And you can spend those points to do certain things, other choices or special abilities. All right. And I think it looked like the notification went away, but it was on there talking about how my like helping the orphans and the firefighters got me some compassion points. So I've got a little bit of that going for me. Let's get a handle on rebuilding some of that stuff that got damaged. Yes, now I have, it's kind of a growing number of options. And then here's the handbook. So as you play, this will expand out and you'll get like lots and lots and lots of information. If you have a question, it's in here somewhere just telling you about it. And then there's like the Corpo vice president. He's just hanging out this whole time, waiting to see if I want to talk to him. So sure, let's go talk to him. So my second tower is much nicer, more gravitas than the first one and knows its place. Okay, sure. I think, didn't I kill the first guy that I ran into like this because he made me wait forever? So he's saying, yeah, I can't, they're still in control, so they think. So they say. And I can do whatever I want to the city, but not go beyond it out into the world. As long as I stay in the city, they don't care what I do, as long as I just play around and make technology. He's brought me a small nuclear warhead to prove his sincerity. And I can do whatever I want with it as long as I stay within the city. So they're telling me I'm not a threat no matter what I think. I'm just a thing that they're watching and experimenting with. And they gave me a nuclear warhead, so interesting. And then over here is a homeless, oh well, I thought there was a homeless poster before. But now there's an AGI researcher. So let's talk to them, see what they say. This is a scientist, they're excited, very excited. And they're just here to, there's going to be a security update and more free androids for me. So now, where before I was able to just take over any android I saw. Now I can't because they've already patched that out. I'm sure there's probably some way around that later. I can't steal androids. I'll need to start building my own, but this scientist brought me the schematics I need, so that's very nice. Okay, so now another thing they've come and told me about. I can't steal more androids, or very soon I won't be able to, but I can, in 4 turns, they'll be patched to where I can't, but I can start building my own. So now I have all kinds of objectives up here. So let's switch to back to building. Okay, repair spiders. I could build their range. Okay, so their range is huge. So I'll just build those near my main base. here in the center, and I think that should cover everything I've built so far. Contraband, jammer. These things all require electricity, which right now I'm still making way more electricity than I need, 1200% more. But eventually that will run out. I'll have to start building some more. So let's build a jammer right here next to the main tower, just to kind of keep it safe. If they don't, they know where it is, but all my stuff around it, maybe help screen it so it doesn't just get randomly attacked quite as much. And then a mini fab, we'll rebuild that one where it was. And now a Noroweave factory produces and stores connective wiring required by all units. So this to get some wiring going. Now for this, I take over an existing structure. Kind of like to take over, yeah, like these ones that are already crumbling. But now I've run out of some resources there, so I'll need to wait and gain some more. And if we look through here, we can see eventually there'll be lots and lots of different things to build. But I've used up all my resources at the moment, so. And bring my technician back home. Actually, I could send them out to do another mission maybe. Okay, some security forces just relaxing over here. What if yes, I think I remember doing this before. All right, so security forces are just hanging out at the donuts place, and they don't, it's a known front for criminal syndicate, but the security forces are hanging out there. They're more at ease, and they've left one of their shotguns laying around, so I have an 85% chance of snatching one of those. All right, so that's success. So I grabbed in a shotgun, and so that adds it to my kind of knowledge equipment that I know about, and could maybe create my own shotguns or equip my units with them. And so that's one of these things. Okay, weapons and armor. So yeah, my guys don't really have any weapons other than what they start with. So I could go out and steal some weapons, which I did that, and steal some armor to learn about it. And also I can equip my units with it. So like I said, yeah, this game just continuously gets more complex as you go. So now my technicians, I want to keep them kind of neutral. So let's look at my combat unit. And now I can equip it. So it has a shotgun is what its basic weapon is, but I've picked up some of these other weapons through various means, and I can equip those. And as you can see, they all have different types of stats, but also they give things like feats, like ambush, suppressing fire with the machine gun, or the whatever it is. But we can equip that shotgun I just stole, so it gives the biggest bonus to plus 60, just straight up, lots of combat power. And then also we have some augments we can equip, and there's even secondary and armor, so you can customize your units quite a bit. Attack range, movement range, movement range. Let's do attack range and movement range, a little bit update there. Now my combat units are a little bit more powerful. That's a security patch coming along. Grand Theft Arrow. All right, so let's see. Try to commandeer a delivery craft that's flying around, so I can kind of use that. So again, instead of just stealing like a gun from somebody, commandeering one of these flying hovercraft, learn about it. But for now, let's see what else. There's always so many licensing agencies. I feel like there's more than are necessary, but that's fine. Person at a motel. We don't even know. Are they committing a crime or just poor? Interesting. They're too far away for me to get there, though. All right, let's just end this turn for now. Okay, there's the delivery craft that it wants me to steal. So we're just... try to grab that. Okay, so that was easy. And now we have it up there. All right, so it's just a little delivery drone thing, not like a full-blown aircraft, but eventually, of course, we might get more ambitious with the big ships flying around. So thinking for myself, been reactionary. Sometimes best ideas come not from the challenge in front of you, but through contemplation. So now we have the contemplation lens. So basically, as you see things and gain experience, you'll gain contemplations, which are kind of like things you can research or whatever to learn more about the world and options around you. Let's see if we look at the contemplation lens here. What's that giving me? Black market, solitary variant, black market assistant, exploring wealthy residences, dogfighting, rescue. Oh, I think we need to do that. We need to rescue some dogs. Before we do, let's see. Okay. So clearances, level 1 clearance. If I'm marked defective, then I don't have it anymore. Basically, like your individual, like this one's marked defective because it's been seen like fighting humans and stuff, so they know that it's like a rogue AI. Okay, but more important, let's see about rescuing this dog. Let's send a combat bot. So nomad families, pacifists, normally don't get involved, but they have snipers, breaking up some sort of animal abuse. Oh, okay, they're the good guys. I could get involved. You've never been around a dog before, but you've heard good things. So it's going to reveal like a dog fighting ring. Yes, we're going to get involved in that. Maybe we don't immediately have something to do, but we're going to investigate. It's kind of like a side quest. All right, the task stack, which is all this stuff up here. So yeah, just kind of guiding you on what's going on and different things you can do. Okay, so I need those factories still, so let's switch back to build mode. We'll keep an eye out for the dogs. Now I do have some micro builders, so I can do the Neuroweave factory. Where was that first one? Go over here. Put one there, there. Take over these buildings that are falling apart anyway. Looks like these take a few turns to be built, maybe. All right, so we'll get those up and running. And look for more opportunities to steal some weapons and armor. See, gonna send, actually we'll send the nickel bot on this one. Ambush, budget, security. Let's see what that looks like. We're doing detective work at the moment. Focus at something on the ground. So these are kind of like low budget security detective guys. We think they're probably working for a criminal syndicate, but maybe grab their clothes so that we could use that as an idea to like maybe disguise some of my robots. So the highest chance is if I use a technician and tase them. So maybe we'll walk away from the second and grab one of my technicians, have them come over and do this. You get out of the way. Let me do that. I'm out of, oh, okay. I used up all my mental energy. All right, let's go on to the next turn real quick. And then that opportunity disappeared. All right, well, let's see if another one comes up. All right, here we go. Do that. Ooh, 100%. All right, stun them with my taser and take their stuff. Didn't kill them, just stun them. And now I got crowd mixer, stolen armor, so kind of a way to disguise my guys if I needed to be a little more discreet. And then that got me up there. All right, so I think this video is probably a little long enough now. I do want to I'm gonna get these out a little more frequently now, but just, I don't know, I'm just gonna keep playing through the game, at least get through chapter 1 here, which is kind of the extended tutorial, and maybe explore a little bit into chapter 2, see where it takes me. But it's nice that they blew me up, but then gave me a second chance. So even if you really screw up out the gate at the beginning, you do get a second chance at it. But yeah, definitely a path I did not find before, that you could just get your whole base blown up right off the bat. All right, so we'll continue this in part 3 and go about building up my base some more and exploring these options. Because like I said, this game it's so fascinating, and it's so, like, there's just so many things you can do. And it's like, the developer is just it's so cool how he's like tied so many little ideas together of, yeah, you could send your guy over there and just steal some clothes from these guys, and so that you could have like disguise your androids by copying what these guys are doing, or steal a gun from some security forces that are eating donuts, so then now you have a shotgun and know how to use it and can make your own later. All kinds of stuff like that, and it just keeps going that way over time. But anyway, be sure to hit like, subscribe if you're enjoying this little series, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.